Okay, tonight we're in the bothy of broken dreams, and we are putting an absolute legend in the bowl. Welcome to the Tainted Tavern.
Welcome to the Tainted Tavern. Come sit inside with me.
Okay, tonight the legendary tobacco that we're going to be talking about, that we're going to be discussing here, is a tobacco that I have never smoked before. In fact, the tin I'm about to open is a fresh tin, yet to be cracked open, so I've never done this before. So this is going to be less of a review and more of a first impression. I will do a full review of this tobacco further down the line, as I feel to truly bring out the nuances of the tobacco, you need to have smoked several bowls, preferably over several days. But that is Peterson's Mixture 965, which was, of course, originally a Dunhill Mixture, and that was Dunhill Mixture 965, and there's quite an interesting history towards behind that. For instance, so My Mixture 965, what's the meaning of that name? We'll talk about that in a moment. I'm going to be drinking a beer with it, a Welsh amber bitter from the Purple Moose Brewery, and this is Cavendish Lan Welsh Amber Bitter, which is 4.0%. It tells us this is a sessionable Welsh Amber Bitter with a malty body, blackcurrant notes, and a finish as harmonious as the hymn it's named after. The hymn, of course, is Cavendish Lan. It's an amber colour. It tells us on the bottle that we get a grapefruit and floral nose. And apparently the taste is malty and black currant. Contains barley and wheat with gluten removed. The barley, Marisota, crystal roasted barley, and the hops are Willamette and Cascade. So let's get this open and poured, and we'll talk about My Mixture 965. Now, I made a couple of notes about this tobacco. As I say, it's a legendary tobacco. I've heard a lot about it over the years, but for some reason I never really got around to smoking it until now. Now, when Dunhill first started in the tobacco business way back in 1907, they didn't really have any of their own preparatory blends at that time, and they sold blends from other tobacco houses which were already on the market. But what they did is they had tobacco blenders in-house, and they would blend tobaccos to customers' specifications. It is indeed an amber colour. I don't know how well that's showing up on the camera there, as we're in the bothy out here and the lighting is rather dim, but yeah, it's an amber colour. It's got a good level of carbonation and a one-finger head. The nose promised, as I said, the nose promised grapefruit and floral. I'm not really getting any of that. Just that is quite a old school bitter taste. I think I approve. Okay, I've made some notes here. Now, as I say, Dunhill would make tobaccos to a customer's specifications, and they had a book which still exists apparently, and that book was labelled My Mixture, or My Mixtures, and it had all the customers' names and the mixtures that Dunhill made for them. And this happened to be Mixture number 965. This was mixed for a gentleman called E.A. Baxter. His full name was Edward, and then the rather grand Armistead Baxter. And he was born in 1848 and died in 1933. I tried to find out more about the particular gentleman, but I wasn't able to, though I did find that he was a wealthy merchant. So that's where the tobacco comes from. That's where it gets its name, My Mixture 965. Which begs a question. I wonder what 964 was like, or 124. So let's get the tin open. Comes in a standard round tin, adorned with all the wonderful health warnings that the government insists they've got to put on these tins. Cracked open rather nice there. Heard a bit of puff of air. So there is concertina kind wrapper around it. The Peterson image, which is in most of the tobacco tins, of a tobacco leaf there. Now this is a mixture of Latakia, Oriental, Virginia, brown Cavendish. Now brown Cavendish, as opposed to black Cavendish, gives more of a natural tobacco flavour. Now Cavendish, of course, is not a varietal of tobacco, but it's a process in which the tobacco is treated. But black Cavendish is stewed far more, which turns the tobacco black, and that allows it to carry aromatic flavours. But the natural tobacco taste is leached out of the Cavendish, brown Cavendish. Excuse me, not so much. It goes through the process, but it doesn't go through such, or rather it doesn't go through the process to the extent that black Cavendish does. So it does retain that natural tobacco taste, but what it serves to do is smooth out the other elements that would be in this blend, such as the Latakia, which is quite a fiery tobacco in terms of taste. Then you've got the Orientals, which can give a spicy quality, and the Virginias, of course, which gives that sweet standard backbone. Let's just lift this off and see what we get on the tin note. Now the tobacco, it's a ribbon cut, and it doesn't seem to be too moist, so I think I'll be able to smoke this straight out of the tin with very little preparation. I'm just going to take a nose of this and see what the tin note gives me. And before I do, you can see the tobacco in there. So it's a mixture of light tobaccos, some darker tobaccos, and, as I say, no black. That's quite a lovely aroma. It's very much like an English style blend in aroma, which is basically what it is. Now Dunhill produced this blend themselves for 70 years, but in 1981 Murray's took over the My Mixture 965, and then Orlick took over production of this tobacco in 2004, and eventually then it moved over to the Peterson brand. But the tobacco has been around in this form since the original blend way back at the turn of the 20th century. So let's it's a lovely dry dryish leaf. I'm just rubbing my thumb and fingers across the top of the tobacco here and scooping up enough to fill a bowl. So I'm going to be smoking it also in this Peterson silver spigot, as I call it. Was once known as a green spigot, but the green colouring that Peterson used has come off. But this is an absolutely fantastic pipe. I've had this pipe a great many years. I love it, and the fact that the green stain has come off, I don't mind, because it reveals a lot of the natural brown stain and the wonderful flame grain on this pipe. So let's pack a generous amount of this tobacco into the pipe and get it lit, and then we'll talk about the first impression of this tobacco. Now, as I say, this is a very legendary tobacco which pipe smokers have been talking about over the years. The fact this has existed all this time is obviously speaks volumes for the quality of this tobacco and how it's regained its popularity, how it's gained its maintained its popularity over all these years. So I'm just packing a nice little bowl here. My pipe knife to tamp it down slightly. So I've got the bowl filled there. It's a lot cooler. The weather's cooled a lot. We had one heat wave after another this summer, but it's cooled a lot now. It's 20 to 9 in the evening, and it's in the temperatures in the late upper teens. It's very, very fresh compared to what we've had lately. Very pleasant sitting out here in the bottom of your Broken Dreams. Okay, I'm just going to put the lid back on this tobacco. Now, what I'm expecting from this before I even smoke it, because I've heard so much about this tobacco over the years. I've seen it's spoken about on various pipe forums, so I'm expecting a light English style blend. The tin note would certainly suggest that, so that's what I think I'm going to get. And this purple mousse on the bit is really nice. Sounds like one of those craft beers that you get these days with the absurd names. But it's a very traditional British beer type taste, a bitter type taste, quite dry on the finish. I'm going to use this little cheap lighter I picked up in Morrison's today. I popped in Morrison's today and picked up another pouch of Condo and a few beers, Moose being one of them. And I've seen this lighter for £1. Now I like it because it's got the long stem there. I mean, these are designed for gas barbecues, but you can get them in the bowl without scorching the outer rim of the bowl. But also what's cool about this is it's a bendy one, so you can bend it to get the flame in the right position. Okay, let's stop yapping away and get this pipe lit.
As I watch the sun descending and the birds fly home to rest, in the hush when day is ending, that's the hour when I feel blessed. Smoking my pipe.
I couldn't resist bringing back the song "Smoking My Pipe" there. This is very very smooth, but very tasty. This could certainly be an all-day smoke. I think it is an English style. I think that is its main identity is an English style, but it's the latakia is not that prominent in this.
Smoking my pipe. Like a whisper through the cornfield comes a gentle evening breeze. At the doorway of my cottage I recall old memory.
Earthy, woody, lovely Virginia.
Smoking my pipe.
Someone asked me in a comment recently what tobaccos would be suitable for a beginner. Something inoffensive and not over the top would probably be this. This is really good. I'll do a full review of this maybe a week or so down the line. I've smoked a bit more of it, but first impressions, I'm quite impressed with this. No wonder it's got such a legendary status in the pipe tobacco world. You in the bothy. Yeah, yesterday's me. I'm taking over for a little while. I'm taking this review over. So come on, move aside. Come on, out of the way. Okay, well, I've now done several bowls of this My Mixture 965, so I think I can give it a little bit more of an informed review here for you, because I'm very well impressed with this tobacco. Now, you are getting, as I say, it initially surprised me. It wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be much more latakia forward, knowing that it's an English type blend. Now, it is an English type blend, but what I am finding about this, and it's really impressing me, is how incredibly smooth and nuanced it is. And it's a very complex tobacco, yet everything seems to be held together by that brown Cavendish, which allows it to be incredibly smooth. Now, it's given earthy campfire tastes. Some roasted nuts. Of course, you get roasted nuts if you sit too close to a campfire, but it's giving them that roasted kind of walnut, hazelnut type flavour. It's very, very good. It's woodsy. It's an outdoors tobacco, I feel. Very, very fantastic blending accomplishment here. The tobaccos marry so well together. And earlier on, I was smoking this in a different Peterson. I'm smoking it in another Peterson. This is my Peterson Bard pipe, which a fantastic pipe. And I was drinking a old style British bitter with it. But at the moment, I'm drinking a Scotch on the rocks, just a standard famous grouse. And both of these beverages pair really well with this pipe. What I would like to add to this review, though, is The cheap cigarette lighters, the bendy cigarette lighters I raved about at the beginning of this review, they're actually quite crap. That one I raved about yesterday lasted all of an hour before it give up any flame. As I say, they were £1 each, so what can you expect? But I got another new one here. I bought two. And I guess you get what you pay for, because the first one was shit. So, yeah, so there's a lighter, which isn't great because it's got that long stem on there, so you can place it right inside the bowl, so you don't char the outside of the bowl. And the fact that it's bendy is great as well, to get it in position, to, you know, angle it, to get it into your pipe. But they just, oh, this one seems a bit better, mine. Perhaps the previous one I had was substandard. The other one didn't throw out a flame like that. So at the moment, my verdict on these lighters is very much on hold. I'll use this lighter now throughout several reviews and let you what I do think about them. But the other one was definitely shit. Pound, it wasn't worth 50p. This one seems to be a bit better. We'll see how long it lasts. Perhaps I just had a dud. Back to the tobacco. Very, very, very tasty. Very easy, gentle smoke. Nothing harsh about this. Nothing severe about this tobacco. So I feel this would be a tobacco that very much a newcomer to pipe smoking could try, perhaps as a first blend, and enjoy it. Anyway, back to the bothy. Yeah, Virginia, sweet Virginia is the predominant taste, I think, in this. Maybe a little oriental kick to it, but not spicy. It's not like a perique. It's very much makes me think of a porridge, a thick, creamy porridge. That's what you do in a review. Just sit there going, Very, very nice. You're not far off there. It's very good tobacco. Brown Cavendish mixed with oriental tobaccos and small latakia leaves, an English mixture. Well, I would say that the Cavendish is sourced from Virginia leaves. The room note is traditional tobacco aroma, so non-smokers would probably not dig this room note, so to speak. That Virginia sweetness seems to be enhanced, but it's not overly sweet. There's definitely a grassy, hay-like quality. I love that too. Smoke in my pipe. Rupert Everett, who played TV's Migraine. Don't forget to mention subscribing, thumbs up, and leaving a comment. Have you smoked My Mixture 965? No, not you. Ask the viewers if they smoked My Mixture 965. Oh my gosh. No, I was expecting... This is giving me a totally different experience to what I was expecting. It is an English style mix, but I was expecting a lot more of the latakia. You're getting two of us for the price of one in this review. Can't be bad. You always get added value at the Tainted Tavern. Latakia woodiness, that woodland type, barbecue type taste, but it's subdued. The Virginia, I think, is forward, and the brown Cavendish, which are holding it all together. It's really well-structured tobacco. Be it bothy or tavern itself, My Mixture 965 offers a superb smoking experience. What was that gentleman's name we've got to thank for this? Edward Baxter. Edward Armistead Baxter. 1848 to 1933. Cheers. Well, Mr. Baxter, sir, I raise a glass to your memory.
Please come back.